It's always the time of year where we think about homeless animals because there are so many dogs in particular in pounds right now. In fact, probably more than there have ever been. And as a consequence, there are more dogs in shelters, in foster care, and in rescue organisations, to the point where they are also overflowing and are having to turn back pounds and councils and owners that can no longer take in the care of a dog or a cat. And cats cop it even worse than dogs do, to be honest. So what can you do? Well, if you absolutely must have a puppy, which I've done before, and I totally get why you would want to do that. It's a beautiful thing to bring home a puppy when they're 8 weeks old and raise them into a happy, healthy dog. But if you want to avoid contributing to this horrendously sad situation in which poorly bred dogs are given to people who are naive and well-intentioned, and then it becomes a dog that they weren't prepared for, they didn't know was going to be like that, is a completely different breed to what they were told, a whole range of different reasons as to why it doesn't work out, then if you want to avoid being a part of this, then there's 8 things I want you to consider if you are going to get a puppy from a breeder. How do you know if that breeder is reputable and ethical? Well, I've got 8 things to look out for. So if you can tick off all of these 8 things, then most likely that puppy that you are adopting from that breeder has come from a very passionate breeder who's interested in maintaining and improving the health, well-being and genetic line of that particular breed. First thing I would do is I would contact Dogs Australia, or I would contact the particular breed that you're looking for and the club. For example, Staffordshire Bull Terrier Club of Victoria. These are the places that will have really clear regulations that avoid any of that puppy farming or that backyard breeding temptation that people have. So that's the first thing I would do. Outside of that, if I were to look for a puppy and I saw a puppy on Gumtree or on a classifieds online site, I would avoid. There is, I have to say, I'm sorry, but there is no ethical breeder that will advertise their puppies on Gumtree. Number 2, they tell you that you cannot visit the property of the puppies. For whatever that reason is, it's too far away. If you're prepared to go interstate, and that breeder should allow you to do that. Number 3, the mum is mysteriously not available for you to meet. Maybe they're at a different property, or they couldn't allow you to go to the property where the puppies have been bred and have been whelped. The mum is over there. Whatever the reason is that you cannot meet that mum, it's a massive red flag, really, really big red flag. If the breeder offers to drop the puppy off to your property, or more of a red flag, to meet you halfway at the local petrol station, avoid. Upon visit, if you are allowed to go to the property and you get the vibe that those puppies are part of a big business or industry that is all about just breeding puppies for money rather than temperament, health and genetic improvement of that breed, then avoid. You'll get a feeling, and so many well-intentioned people that I meet every day will get a puppy and I'll say, did you get to go to the property? Did you meet the mum? And they'll say, oh, we couldn't meet the mum. We went there and it didn't look like a very nice place. We didn't get a very good feeling. We felt sorry for the puppy, so we brought the puppy home. Well, that puppy's very lucky, but you are perpetuating the industry that causes huge trauma and poor welfare for the dog species. So if you get a bad feeling, report them to the RSPCA rather than taking that puppy home if you can. Exorbitant costs, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars for a particular breed just because they're popular is not a reason to charge such a huge amount. If they say it's for genetic health testing of that puppy, the mum and the dad are the ones that need to have that health testing, and if they're all clear, then the puppies don't need to have that testing. Whatever reason is, if you're paying an exorbitant amount of money, it's a huge red flag, or if you're paying a very small amount of money, it's a huge red flag, and more so if it's a free to good home dog. Health and genetic testing is not available. So this is number 7 for me. If they don't have documents of the mum and the dad and the testing that is required for that particular breed, and there are some breeds that need different types of testing. A Staffordshire Bull Terrier will need different types of testing to a Golden Retriever. If they don't have that paperwork available for you to observe of both parents, then avoid. And number 8, they request payment prior. Now, some wonderful breeders will say, I'm happy to take a deposit because, you know, you want to make sure that those people are genuine. Sure, okay. But, you know, if they request a deposit and they're not on Gumtree, they've allowed you to visit the property, you've met the mother, it's a very happy, lovely family home, the conditions are wonderful, it's a reasonable cost for that puppy, the health and genetic testing of the parents are available, and they require a deposit, sure. But if there's a few red flags there and they're requiring a deposit or full payment, massive red flag, steer clear. So they're my top 8 things that I would look for if I'm adopting a puppy. When people say a puppy is not for Christmas, it is true, but they are for 15 or more Christmases. So consider the lifelong journey that you have with that puppy and make sure that you are getting a puppy ethically and from a breeder who's doing right by that particular breed. Also consider some breeds just shouldn't be bred. I'm not going to go into that. I can talk about that in another video, but there are some beautiful, cute, very expensive breeds that look beautiful but suffer endless health problems, behavioral issues because of health problems, and it's just a disaster, and it's really on the selfishness end of humanity. So consider, you may love the look of a particular breed, but it's really not ethical to buy or to breed particular dogs as well. Thanks for listening.